Hello there, thanks for joining me this Monday on 7Edition. I'm Shafika Razali and these are your headlines. Government to discuss concerns on Khat calligraphy introduction. Armed men escape with 1 million ringgit worth of jewellery in Ipoh. And violent strikes and chaos descend on Hong Kong. Good evening. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. The government will discuss the uproar surrounding the Education Ministry's decision to introduce Khat calligraphy in the Year 4 Bahasa Melayu syllabus next year. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizawan Ismail also said Khat or Jawi calligraphy is an art form and has nothing to do with religion.
Memang saya ambil maklum dan saya akan bincang dengan Perdana Menteri. Walaupun Perdana Menteri telah mengeluarkan kenyataan, kita akan jumpa Perdana Menteri akan lepas ke Tokyo, Fukuoka. Ya. Tapi kita akan bincang dengan lebih mendalam sebab kita memang ambil maklum keresahan orang Tionghoa dalam isu ini.
The Prime Minister was reported as saying that the decision to introduce Khat was final, adding that the government has never barred other races from preserving the written scripts of their respective mother tongues. Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik has also said that school children will not be tested on their Khat writing skills during examinations. A number of people have voiced their concerns over the matter since then, including DAP grassroots leaders and state assemblymen. Meanwhile, Chinese educationist groups Dong Zong and Zhao Zong reiterated their stand against the government's move, urging them to delay its implementation, which is being set for next year. The group claimed the move to introduce Khat would not help Chinese and Tamil primary school pupils to improve their Malay language skills.
We are talking about strengthening our learning and mastering of Bahasa Melayu as a language, but it's not Zawi is not a language, but it's a writing. So I think it's character writing. So we are saying that this is different. This is written credit, and all the SRJC and SRJT will want to emphasize and improve our standard of Bahasa Melayu, which we don't have a lot of time now. So we want to focus on that.
The group will meet Deputy Education Minister Teo Ni Ching tomorrow to discuss the issue. They want the Education Ministry to expound on its explanation that school children will not be tested on their Khat writing skills during exams. This despite the inclusion of the component in the standard curriculum and assessment document and syllabus. The group also said they were neither being unpatriotic nor rejecting the learning of Khat and Jawi, while urging others not to politicize this issue. Meanwhile, for academicians, the move to introduce Khat as part of the Bahasa Melayu subject in schools will educate students on the history of the Malay language, as well as laying the foundation to instill national identity among them. Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM's Institute of Ethnic Studies Principal Research Fellow, Professor Datuk Dr. Teo Kok Siong, however, dismissed the notion that learning the Malay Arabic calligraphy will compromise one's religious belief or culture.
Dan mereka ada berfikir bahawa ini satu perancangan licik untuk memelayukan anak-anak, bukan Melayu, dan akhirnya mengislamkan anak-anak bukan Melayu. Ini tak betul. Tetapi ini berlaku kerana adanya defisit kepercayaan tadi. Satu bangsa tak percaya kepada satu bangsa yang lain. Jadi saya kira perkara yang lebih penting ialah kita boleh selesaikan masalah dan isu tulisan Jawi dan serikat ini, tapi itu satu bahagian yang kecil saja. Yang besar lagi itu bagaimana kita nak selesaikan defisit kepercayaan itu. Setelah 62 tahun kita merdeka, kita cuba bentuk manusia Malaysia itu, nampaknya tak menjadi. Kita berpecah-pecah lagi, kita mencurigai antara satu sama lain. Jadi itu yang paling pokok. Kita harus bina semula negara bangsa. We need nation rebuilding.
To get more insight into the story, we have online with us the National Union of Teaching Profession NUTP Secretary General, Mr. Harry Tan Huat Hock. Hello, Harry. Now, what is NUTP's stand on implementing Khat calligraphy in schools? And according to academicians, there are benefits for students. What do you think?
We welcome anything that is informational and gives us more knowledge. Khat calligraphy should be exposed to those studying the Malay language, as it tells that the language has an art form in writing.
Now, Harry, do we have enough teachers to teach it, and are the teachers ready?
The teachers are not required to teach this Khat calligraphy for exam purposes, but just as an exposure for the students. So therefore, we see no problems as far as training is concerned for these teachers.
And lastly, what do you think of groups that are opposed to the introduction of Khat?
Groups opposed to it are politically motivated. They have other vested interests. They are not talking about education per se, and we appeal to everyone to let us professionals deal with education.
Thank you, Harry. And that was Mr. Harry Tan Huat Hock from NUTP. Moving on, 2 men escaped with 1 million ringgit worth of jewellery in a brazen robbery in Ipoh Perak early this morning. Their method? Crashing into the vehicles transporting the jewellery as it was on its way to its destination in Kelantan. At 6:30 this morning, 2 men in their 30s were travelling in 2 four-wheel drives were hit by a lorry while passing Jalan Chin Hua. 2 suspects then emerged from the lorry armed with machetes and grabbed several bags of jewellery before fleeing the scene using another vehicle. The whole ordeal happened within just 5 minutes. It is believed that the jewellery was just taken from the owner's house to be delivered in Kelantan. According to police, the suspects used a lorry that was reported missing in Kelang, Selangor early today. They also believe that the 2 more accomplices were involved in the escape. Investigators are now intensifying efforts to identify the car and are tracking down the suspects. Meanwhile, a drug bust worth over 1 million ringgit by Penang police saw the arrest of a drug dealer in a rented home in Bukit Tengah. Police said the suspect has 9 past criminal records and has been working alone.
Dia mula-mula kita tangkap di luar rumah. Hasil daripada maklumat, hasil daripada observation, tangkap di luar rumah. So masa di luar rumah tu dah jumpa dadah. Lepas tu masuk dalam rumah, dia simpan dadah-dadah ni di belakang. Kan biasa rumah Cina tu, kan ada top corner, ada table tu di belakang tu kan. Ada dia orang panggil apa, altar. Di belakang tu disimpan.
A total of about 15 kilograms of shabu, over 12,000 ecstasy pills and 79 grams of heroin was seized, all from behind an altar. The suspect has been remanded until Wednesday to assist in the drug trafficking probe. Police are still looking for a 15-year-old Irish girl who was last seen at a chalet at a resort in Kampung Pantai Negeri Sembilan yesterday morning. Now, over 100 rescue workers have been deployed over a search area that has been expanded to find Nora and Corarin.
Yang sehingga kini, kekuatan yang kita ada untuk mencari kawasan ini adalah 119. InsyaAllah, kita akan tambah lagi keanggotaan dan kita sedang berurusan dan dalam perjalanan satu pelatun pasukan polis hutan akan dibawa kemari untuk membantu gerakan kita untuk mencari mangsa.
The search team also includes various government agencies and local civilians. Yesterday's search covered the areas in the resort, and now the perimeter has been widened to outside the resort, covering an area as wide as almost 2 hectares. Nora came to Malaysia with 4 family members for a holiday and was staying in a chalet at the resort when her parents reported her missing from her room yesterday morning. 4 motorcyclists were injured after they crashed into a Proda Myvi in a 7-car pileup on the Damansara Puchong Highway yesterday afternoon. A dashcam video of the incident, which has gone viral, shows the riders flying into the air as they could not stop in time to avoid the car. Selangor Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Chief Superintendent Azman Shariat said the driver of the Myvi was following closely behind a Mazda CX-3 and could not brake in time. After the Myvi had hit the car in front, it swerved to the right, causing the motorcyclist to crash into it. All 4 riders suffered broken bones and were sent to the Serdang Hospital for treatment. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. A victim of a road accident this morning received an unexpected help from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah. His Majesty, while on his way to an exhibition at the Royal Museum, spotted an accident near Istana Negara and stopped his entourage to offer help to the victim. The 52-second video was posted on Istana Negara's Instagram account, showing the Yang di-Pertuan Agong checking on the driver, which has since been viewed more than 65,000 times. Al-Sultan Abdullah is no stranger to helping accident victims. However, in June, His Majesty was spotted helping another victim of an accident in Putrajaya. Coming up, a chance for you to indulge in the true Moroccan taste right at the heart of Kuala Lumpur. Details next. We're back with foreign news. 3 ferries capsized off 2 central Philippine provinces, bringing the death toll to 31, with 3 people still missing. A Coast Guard spokesman said on Sunday the dead were passengers from 2 of the ferries. The motorized wooden-hulled boats were carrying a total of 96 passengers and crew when harsh weather conditions caused the vessels to overturn off the central island of Guayramas and Iloilo provinces. 62 other passengers and crews were rescued. A third ferry, which was not carrying passengers, also capsized in the Iloilo Strait, but its 5 crew members survived. Forecasters have warned of heavy monsoon rains, thunderstorms and rain-triggered landslides amid a tropical depression more than 1,000 kilometers off the country's eastern coast. The Southeast Asian archipelago nation has a poor shipping safety record, with scores of people dying in maritime accidents every year, usually aboard boats that move people from one small island to another. About 20 typhoons and storms batter the Philippines annually. Now, one of the world's busiest, Hong Kong International Airport, HKIA, saw more than 200 flights listed as cancelled on Monday morning after aviation authorities warned passengers about potential disruptions. Local media reported that hundreds of passengers were stranded at the airport. Affected airlines include Cathay Pacific and Hong Kong Airlines, though most of the disrupted flights were with Cathay Pacific, which did not give a reason for the cancellations. But the carrier's flight attendants union confirmed its members were involved in the walkout. The flight disruption came in the wake of a planned citywide strike by pro-democracy protesters who were hoping to ramp up pressure on Hong Kong's pro-Beijing leaders. Commuters struggled to get to work in the morning rush hour, with many rail and bus services suspended, while some activists blocked trains from leaving stations. Meanwhile, Financial Secretary Paul Chan warned that the risk of recession is rising in Hong Kong. Chan specifically cited the protests that have rocked the city since June, as well as the global economic slowdown. He added that in the second quarter, Hong Kong's economy declined 0.3% on a quarterly basis. If it continues to pose negative growth in the third quarter, then technically Hong Kong's economy will slide into a recession. Now it's time for Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. We have heard of people standing in empty parking spaces in Malaysia to chop the parking spot, and double parking is the norm for many of us. But this person took calling dibs on a parking spot to a whole new level, proving that desperation tops common courtesy. 2 cars were caught in a standoff at the Aeon Cheras Selatan parking recently after one of the driver tried to squeeze and steal a parking spot. Here's the story. Engku Iskandar, through his Facebook account, described how he was trying to reverse his Honda BRV into a parking spot when a Toyota Vios suddenly came in between. In the video, the driver of the Toyota, wearing the black shirt, stands in the spot and is seen guiding his wife to drive the car into the parking spot, squeezing through a tiny gap with his children and a couple of eyewitnesses watching. What's more bewildering is that Engku described how the car went against traffic flow just to make it in time. Engku also wrote on the post that he used to read about these stories on social media and now finds himself in one instead. Luckily, he was patient enough to stand, watch and record instead of picking a fight. The video has garnered over 314,000 views. The incident was also recorded and uploaded by another netizen who mentioned how the Toyota driver should not have been that inconsiderate. Now, hogging a parking space is bad enough, but stealing someone's parking in such a way may just turn ugly if the victim reacts differently. The North African Kingdom of Morocco is well renowned for their rich culture and history, both well presented in their fragrant cuisine that can satisfy many taste buds. Malaysians now have the opportunity to taste and experience the flavors of Morocco during the Moroccan Food Festival held at Sofitel Hotel in Kuala Lumpur. Wan Izzul Islam has the story.
This is the unique French-Moroccan cuisine, a mixture of spices from both the east and the west combined together to make a very unique savory taste. Today we'll be tasting some of the dishes such as the bakula as well as the zalouk to see and find out what makes these unique cuisine special to that of Morocco. Among the unique qualities expressed through Moroccan food are the blend of spices used in most of their recipes. The dishes are slow cooked and use a combination of herbs and fresh ingredients that create an aromatic, savory and colorful spread. Some of the most famous and cherished Moroccan dishes on display included the Moroccan lamb tagine, vegetable couscous, and a variety of salads.
The Moroccan cuisine is rich in flavor and rich in spices as well, because we have the trade from the west, trade from the east. They came to Morocco and the spices become very unique and very popular. So we have in Morocco so much dishes which is very famous, and we're going to speak about the national dish which is popular. It's the couscous with the vegetable and caramelized onion, and it goes with a lamb tagine with prawns and apricot.
Most Moroccan dishes share similar characteristics with Arabic food. However, their spices are not as strong, making it less spicy on the tongue. Similar spices can also be found in Malaysian dishes that are used to make certain Moroccan food, allowing Asians to easily adapt their taste buds to the new flavors.
There's always a bit of Middle East, North Africa touch in Malaysia through all the community living in Kuala Lumpur. And we had the opportunity to fly the Chef Gary from a sister hotel in Middle East. And Chef Gary is Moroccan, so we wanted him to come for a week to experience with the team here, to train the team and to develop a food festival together.
You know, the Moroccan food is one of the richest food in the world. It's very unique and it's very original. It's a mixture of flavors and colors, and it reflects the Moroccan history and the Moroccan culture.
The Moroccan Food Festival hopes that Malaysians will enjoy the tastes of Morocco and inspire them to one day visit the country known as the Santorini of Africa. Flavors of Morocco will be held until August 9th at the Food and Beverage Outlet in Sofitel Hotel, Kuala Lumpur, during lunch and dinner. One is Islam for 7Edition.
After the break, Airbus upbeat about new A220 prospects. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Airbus recently introduced a new 100 to 150-seater aircraft, the A220, and the plane maker is expected to sell at least 7,000 of the new aircraft in the next 20 years. Marketing Director Christine Degania said Asia Pacific is expected to account for 20% of the demand.
But we also believe at Airbus that the aircraft really fits the market because it has a superior range and it brings 100 to 150 passengers all the way to Japan or Australia. So we really believe it's a key tool to develop the Malaysia traffic.
The cabin space is spacious with lots of leg space for the economy class and large overhead compartments to store your luggage. It's powered by two Pratt & Whitney pure-powered latest generation engines, which burn 20% less fuel. Malaysia is the third largest market for Airbus in Asia Pacific, with 727 orders for various plane models. Bursa Malaysia joined its regional peers in negative territory today, with selling pressure seen across the board. The FBM KLCI shed 1% to finish at 1,610 points as the market braced for a fresh round of trade war between the US and China. Now on to stocks to watch. Malaysia Airport Holdings Berhad is expected to record a higher passenger growth despite the implementation of the International Departure Levy beginning September. This is amidst the relaxation of visa policies for Chinese and Indian nationals visiting Malaysia, which may be extended in the following year in conjunction with Visit Malaysia Year 2020. Time to buy the stock. Kosan Rubber Industries Berhad's earnings prospect remains bright, underpinned by take-ups for its new plants, plus margins improvement due to better operational efficiencies. The new plants are designed to save heating and electricity cost via the use of computerized control system and efficient usage of a single boiler instead of two, as in the older plants. Attractive stock, a definite buy. Last but not least, Maxis Berhad's near-term performance is bogged down by lower overall service revenue in both prepaid and postpaid segments, which could persist for the remainder of this year. While Maxis continues to keep a focused approach with its CapEx plans and investments, the group is sidelined by fundamentally better peers with stronger margins, dividend yields and returns on equity. Time to sell the stock. Jaws were dropping as American Michi Briscoe became the first to land a 1260 in skateboarding history during the Big Air competition at the X Games in Minneapolis on Sunday. We leave you with the heart-stopping footage as we wrap up tonight's news. I'm Shafika Razali. Thanks for watching and good night.